Welcome YouTubers and fellow tankers and even my fellow clanmates. I'm Shrine King and you've arrived at King's Court, and today I'm going to be going through kind of like a guide of Frontline. Now this is the third set of Frontline that I've played. So I played the test, then I played the first set that they went through, and now we're on to the second set. So just real quick, for those that maybe are not quite aware of like what Frontline is, or what's the deal with it, why are we saying sets, why is it only a week long, that kind of stuff. So Wargaming is doing something where Frontline will be available throughout the year, but it'll be done in 10 sessions, and each session will be 1 week long. And with that, they have rewards that are based on the prestige ranks that you get, and that's out of how many, like reaching rank 30, then prestiging. When you've gotten so many, then you actually get into this reward part, and this is what I'm going to click over here. So you'll see this part. So you'll get a certain amount of points, which are called prestige points. When you have 6, you can get the STA2. If you have 10, you get the WZ111. Then there's a MIL 1951 that's going to be specific to just Frontline, but it will be a special version of it, and that's going to be 12 points. And then they're saying that they're even bringing out a unique Tier 9 vehicle. Now they haven't said what kind of vehicle or anything like that, but chances are it's going to be considered a reward tank, which means it will not bring in extra credits, but it will still give you boosted experience for your crew. And you'll notice here it says, 1, you have to be Prestige 10, and you have to have 15 Prestige points. Now the catch though is you're only allowed to cash in for 2 rewards. So if you got the STA2, you want to keep in mind that means you can only get one of these other 3 options. So if you were looking to go all the way to Prestige 10, I would highly recommend making sure that you wait and get your MIL 1951 and whatever this reward tank is. So that's kind of the gist of where it's going. You'll see here when they talk about those reward points or prestige points, when you get first prestige it's 1 point, when you get 2 you get 2, and then you'll see you get 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 6. And then this all together I believe equals like 27 points, and you'll notice here if it's 27 points, that's this one and this one. That's the maximum you can get. Now, why besides just these rewards, why is Frontline so important? Why are so many people trying to do Frontline right now? Well, the other part is, you'll see here it says reward for tier. In this case, I'm going to consider those ranks, right? So you get so many ranks to increase your prestige tier or prestige level. So you'll see here from 2 to 5, you're going to get some combat reserve points. You get 30,000 silver for every rank that you get, which is pretty good, right? When you get to 6 to 10, you're looking at 40,000, then 50,000, then 60,000. You'll see when you get to that 30, you get half a mil right there. Now, on top of that, you're also getting, other reserves, right? So bonus experience reserves, bonus silver reserves. You also get these, which is like for natural camo. What was this one? Gives the designated target perk train to 100%. Oh, okay, yes. This makes it where they stay spotted longer. You get fire extinguishers. You get all sorts of stuff. Now, what that means is, as you're running through this, you can actually get a lot of silver. Not just that, but also experience. So, with that in mind, and that's what I'm saying here, is like it's important, right? It's definitely something a lot of people are going to be looking to do, and it's definitely worth it. So if you are going to get into it, what do you need to know? What should you be paying attention to? And the first bit is actually going to be the Frontline like combat reserves that you can use during combat. Now, real quick, one thing to note. If you are a heavy or a medium player, you're only allowed 1 combat reserve to pick. If a tank destroyer gets 2, and a scout and an artillery unit will actually get 3. So, which ones do you pick? How do you go about picking? Which one's important? Which ones should you probably level first? Now, what I will say is those who are starting out and kind of getting the lay of the land, it is essential that you start with recon. The very first one you should pick up is recon. And the reason being is when you use recon, you pick out a designated area, which I will demonstrate later in this video, and you will have, I think, about 3 seconds or 4 seconds. Then a plane basically flies over and spots for you for a certain measurement of time. Now, bear in mind, I'm up to rank 25 right now, so I got tier 5 on this combat reserve. So you'll see at max, it says, oh, there it is. It's 4 seconds for it to actually start spotting, but then it spots for 30 seconds. And you'll see it's this big area, so it'll actually spot quite a large area overall. This is great for spotting those, tank destroyers that are so sneaky and always trying to hide, like scouts hiding in bushes. It is also very aggravating for people to get spotted by something that you're like, there's no way something spotted me. Well, actually, they can spot you from anywhere, essentially. So that's the number one. I would always start with that. Now, I'm finding that as a second, the best option is your engineering. Now, the reason being is because now recon you can use either on the offense or defense, which is very universal. It's very good. Smokescreen, you can also do the same thing for both, but it's kind of dependent on the scenarios, and it becomes a little more finicky on whether or not your teammates are going to help you and things like that, and then how much does it really help you yourself. So it kind of lowers down on it. Now, what was really interesting for engineering is this block time and capture bonus. So at full rank, you'll see here, right, you get capture bonus of 100%. That's increased, right? You also notice this plus 10 second block bonus. So this is, again, an ability that's very good offense or defense. Doesn't matter which side you're on. When you're on the offense, essentially what it's saying is you will count as 2 tanks onto the capture point whenever you're on it. Which is a big deal, because that means if 3 tanks all with engineering are on it, it technically counts as 6 tanks on it all at the same time. And it goes from being like a 3.5 minute capture to like 30 seconds, which makes it where the enemy team really has to react. So with that in mind, what I do mention is a sneaky tactic is, as a platoon, go all lights or very fast tanks, right? Either all lights or very fast, which now it pretty much essentially has to be all light wheeled tanks to be fast, because otherwise you'll never compete against those that are faster than you now. But go with that, and you can get on the flag, and it gives them only 30 seconds. In some cases, if their scouts didn't go or don't want to try to go, you actually will probably take that flag that quick. So that's one thing to know. Now, the block side means that when you hit somebody, and bear in mind, when you hit someone, as anyone, doesn't matter if you have engineering or not, you automatically block their time to increase points for 5 seconds. For that person that you hit. You have to do damage to them, obviously. Engineering makes it to where it's not 5, and you'll see here at level or tier 5, it actually makes it 15 seconds. Now that's a lot. That is a lot of time. Now, the other part to note that's extra here is the resupply. So that just means, hey, you actually will resupply basically twice as fast. You'll also get the resupply cycle about twice as fast. So this is really nice for tanks that don't really have a lot of armor. You're going to kind of get in, get out, try to get repaired. One thing I will note is it's kind of important more for tanks that are going to get to go repair if you're trying to look for it on the resupply side. Now, the block part, one thing I want to point out to people, it's very interesting, is artillery. This is the key component that is making artillery ridiculous. They run engineering. People get on the flag, and this is for defense, right? People get on the flag, and they get points for every second that they block somebody. If there's a stacking of 3 or 4 people, they can actually do damage to all 3 or 4, and that means they block them all for 15 seconds a pop. And you cannot heal that. There's no way to just stop that block. So bear that in mind. That's kind of the key thing that a lot of artillery players are doing. So if you are artillery, remember I said the first thing's recon, right? Because recon can be used, and it's very good for all styles of tanks. Engineering would be second, and then that means your artillery unit now has recon and engineering. Now, the rest of them I say are kind of open. It kind of depends on what tank, what style, what strategy you're going for. Airstrike and artillery strike are obviously for damage dealing. It allows you to nail targets in areas that they would not really see coming or even plan for. The sad part is, honestly, my opinion, in performance, they just don't do enough damage. It's so random on when that damage is actually that good. And to give an example, I think the best I've ever seen is where I knocked a Scorpion G that has no armor, so anything should really damage it. I knocked it as artillery, tracked it, and then used the artillery strike on it, and I got to kill it. That's about it. Like, if I did that to a medium, I don't know, like the T50, or not T54, yeah, T54 Mod 1, actually. If I did it to that, I probably would only do 20% of its health, and that's if I'm lucky. Because the area that it strikes, it is entirely random on how it strikes. They don't really have explosives to it. So you'll see here, it's just how many shells will get dropped. And then you'll see the damage area is only 10 meters. That's not a lot, fellas. That's not a lot at all. And the damage it actually does is kind of low, so you don't really see a lot of damage coming through on targets. The airstrike, the interesting part for airstrike is it actually stuns targets, which can be pretty helpful, but again, bear in mind, people could still use medkits to get out of that stun, so you won't get the support for any of that if they're actually healing out of it. Inspire is an interesting one because, one, it lasts quite a bit of time. The load is actually shorter than some things, right? Let's see, so it's shorter than that, shorter than that, shorter than that, actually a lot shorter than these, right? So what's interesting though is that this has an effect radius that will affect anyone around you. There's a wind down time, but then this is the key component that's really interesting, is the 15% crew performance. And the reason why that's interesting is, well, obviously a lot of tanks are going to be like, well, now I'm faster, I'm more accurate, I can shoot quicker. But it's the loading quicker that's going to be the most significant impact. And that's for particular tanks, right? So Inspire is really impressive if you run it on auto-loading tanks. And I don't mean like your Progettos. Like, they do get a good benefit. You'll see like a second or so saved off of the third shot, or the third round. But you take things like the Lorraine 40T, where it's got a 37-second reload or something like that if you don't have Brothers in Arms. You take this extra 15%, suddenly you're down to like 33%. Chances are you can actually get it down to 30% if you actually had Brothers in Arms, is going to be my guess. And then the smoke screen. Smoke screen is basically the counter or opposite to the recon flight. So it's going to create an entire screen in an area that's just smoke. Anyone who's in it is now broken line of sight. They can't see them, which means people have to get in. So you'll see it says right there, lace smoke screen that blocks the line of sight and conceal allied tanks. Vehicles inside smoke have decreased view range. So that means ones that are in it won't be able to see as well out, but technically they don't have to. And this is something to kind of bear in mind. Most people are using the recon flight, so what's going to happen is they're actually going to see the area around. The tanks that are in the smoke can't be seen, but that means they can fire out still at all tanks that they're seeing, or the teammates are seeing, or someone's recon flight is seeing. And here's the interesting part. Anyone who does damage to an opponent while in your smoke screen, you'll actually get a bonus for that. And what's interesting is it's not assistance. It's not damage assistance or like stun or anything like that. It's actually direct, like, frontline points, basically. And the reason that's important is because you gain ranks in the match, where you start off as like a private and you got to work your way up to like general. And if you get to general, you get not only the experience and credits that you earned, but then you get a 300% boost, right? And so it'll show you, is like, for example, if I had 3,000, it would say, hey, by the way, because I got general, I also got 9,000. That's insane. So first off, anyone who doesn't know, right, Frontline, it counts as a battle type, so you get to pick it, right? You'll see here, Season 2, you know, and it'll tell you, if you hover over it, it'll tell you, hey, when does it start, and when does it end? You know, it's telling me, hey, it actually is going to end in 2 days. So you pick that, and it comes over into Frontline, and it'll tell you your rank. So like that menu I was at, you just click on this symbol, and it'll bring you over back to this, right? So I'm going to close this out. Now, as I mentioned, I kind of told you what to start with, what's important, your first, second, and then you can kind of pick whatever third, and I said it's more dependent on what you're playing. So you'll see, for example, my artillery, I have the recon flight, I have smoke, and I have engineering, right? This to me was a great combination because it allows me to hide people if we're on defense, or I'm sorry, if we're on offense. I can spot people on either or, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, a trick that I've been using lately is if I know we're, like, let's say we're on defense and I know I have a firing line of friendlies that are about to have enemies coming, I can actually smoke all the friendlies so that they can still shoot out without being spotted, right? So that's kind of key too when the pushes are coming at you when you're on defense. So what other like composures do I have? So for example, I'm going to pick my LT432 here. You'll see here I actually am running Inspire, right? Because this is actually a really good combat tank, and I'm looking to help other teammates. So chances are I will be running around at other teammates and coming to assist them in combat situations. I'm not going to actually try to stay away and snipe too often. And that's my choice of this tank. So again, if you're going to try to snipe and things like that, you probably want to use something different than Inspire. But that said, like my bat chat, I use Inspire on because it's an auto loader, right? It has 4 shells. That 20-second, which actually I think I have down to 19, and I don't even, like you'll see, I don't even have Brothers in Arms yet. So it's already at like 19 seconds. With the Inspire, I actually bring it down to like 17 or 16 seconds. If I can get it down even farther, like it's going to be great. Now, bear in mind though, what you'll notice here is I'm not running fire extinguishers because chances are once you're lit on fire, you're probably dead anyway, to be honest. But one thing I am finding, and this is another component that is interesting to me. So you'll see I'm running strong coffee, getting that extra 10%. So anything that's really going to benefit from the extra 10%, I've been running it on it. And the reason being is because usually those tanks, they're pulling such good performance that I'm actually able to pull in much more credits than what I'm spending. And I'm not really that worried about the credits overall, right? I'm just trying to get ranks. Because if you get general, right, it actually helps boost the rank experience that you get, right? Because you'll get 1,200. So you'll see here, frontline experience required. I got 1,100 out of 1,600. I need general will get you 1,200. So even at ranked or tier 25, as they put it, I'm actually looking at almost a full level or almost a full tier if I get general once. Now, for the purpose of this video, now usually, and I'm going to show you too on the queue, everyone kind of just queues up artillery anymore, right? Because the chance of getting general is significantly higher when you're doing that, but I think part of that has to do with people understanding what to run and what you can do to generate more points. So, and I'm going to give you an example here. So here's the Lorraine 40T, right? A medium, and as I mentioned, mediums only get 1. So in this case, I'm running Inspire because getting that extra crew skill to reduce the auto load time is just so good. There's no way I would not do that. Now, my Progetto, you'll notice I didn't do that. I actually run engineering, and the reason being is my Progetto, I really do play a lot more like hit and run tactics. So I'm gonna get in there, knock a couple people around. If I can get in a good situation where people aren't able to see me and I'm just able to keep pumping out damage, great. I'm only gonna be firing one at a time, and that's cool. But eventually I'll take enough damage, and this thing's so mobile, I can go to the repair site, get repaired really quick, which is why I'm doing the engineering. And also it allows, in the event that things go bad, I can still go do it relatively quickly. I think it's like almost every 2 minutes or something like that. So other ones that I have, which actually, yeah, now that I look at it, this is not the setup I really needed. So, for example, this is a case where I actually play this much more aggressively. So I could do engineering to try to make it where I'm trying to take, or I could do smokescreen to assist my team to take. In this case, I'm actually going to do engineering for it. Now, like heavies are the same model, and I've been trying to figure out a good model to go with. I've been using the Recon for a lot of them. But again, it goes into like what are you trying to do with them. So I think I don't even have it on here, but like for example, the Marmbrocker, I really need engineering on it. Because when I run that tank, it's more for trying to take the objective. That's usually when I'm going to end up running it. So, obviously, you'll notice I have a lot of premiums. So, premiums are definitely really good to run. In this case, I'm going to show what it would be like if I was not running a premium. Because this is more for that argument. So, you'll see I have the strong coffee, right? So just by having strong coffee, things would be kind of rough in that sense. Now you'll notice here, SPG 40, right? 66 players in queue, 43 of them are SPGs. That means 66% of the people queuing up right now are in SPGs. That tells you just how good SPGs are, to a point. And I do want to emphasize, to a point. And the reason being is I already know a lot of you are probably thinking, or you're probably screaming out right now, Shrine King, you idiot! It's obviously because you could only have 3 at a given time enter the match. Well, that is true. That is very true. Only 3 can enter the match at any given time, and obviously it still needs to try to fulfill everything else. But what I will tell you is if people see that queue and they're getting that 4-minute queue time, they obviously only care about running SPG. Otherwise, you'd have seen those numbers drop, and those people would have been shifting to other tags, which they're not doing. So that tells me, again, SPGs are really, really important right now. So, here we go. I got a guy who's a defender calling that he wants to rush C. I will say this. I don't find it to be a very good idea unless you have a lot of scouts that are willing to go. And I see currently there's me and 1 other scout. So I doubt it. And actually, when I'm looking at him right now, he's not going. So bear that in mind, fellas. If you are getting into this and you're like, oh, you know what, we can do that rush idea. And the heavy called it out. Yes, obviously we got to rush, fellas. No, don't do that. Right? And the reason being is you're going to rush to your death because chances are no one's going to be able to get there to support you besides those who are already there. And I'm looking, they do have a WZ, which luckily, maybe we could have, right? Because the WZ is going over there. So he didn't actually come rushing for the flag. Oh, that didn't work. Oh well. Aha. Will I get a shot now? Kind of. Maybe. Nope. I'd really like to get a shot. Sadly, if he goes that way, he'll get spotted, you know? Alright, so here we go. Now we'll see. And that's the stuff I'm talking about. So, like, for example, that defender called out that he wants to rush, right? Look how many people went. On the rush call, no one really went. And this is why I don't do it, right? Like, I would do it if I had a platoon of teammates that I knew would actually commit. But as a player, and just so you know, like if you call it out, pay attention, watch your minimap, see how many people are actually going with you or are trying to, and if they're not, don't go. Don't go be just like a death on the enemy opponent's team there. Like they're like, oh yeah, that was great. This guy went out there and just let us kill him because you know he wants to take that flag, right? And I mean, hey, you know that's true. He really did. And you'll see, because they're defending, they're not going to go pushing into this, right? They're all going to line up right there. Now, I could go try to push. Oh. Hey, thanks, Scorpion. Yeah, so Scorpion G probably got spotted, which is why I just got nailed. And, yeah, okay, so. See, this is the other problem, too. You'll see all of these guys. By the way, if you're playing and you see someone in a bush, don't go up behind them. You know, don't roll all the way up to the bush, right? The closer you get to that bush, eventually it becomes see-through so that people can actually spot you. Don't be that guy or gal, right? Don't get behind somebody and then be the one who gets them killed, right? Because everybody knows we hate when people do that. There we go. I spotted somebody. Oh yeah. Right, take that, track. Yeah. Take that, tracker. What now? So you'll see right now I have the 18.36. That was because I'm running the coffee, right? The other thing I actually did trick out to kind of see what would happen is I did actually queue up my 2s. So I'm going to actually queue up my 2 again here. So here, I'm just trying to keep this guy tracked, hoping my team would actually keep damaging. And now he's about to counter shoot. Nope. Screw you.
Zone B contested. Air Scout is ready.
Darn. Alright, so the other thing you're going to want to do while you're in the match is you also want to kind of check how things are going. So I can already see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 of, like, my team stayed, right? We have the same count of members, or teammates on the flat, or in the zone, sorry, in the zone. So you start out with 10.
Inspire Reserve is ready. Zone B has been captured.
Man,
Extra time
not very
is
lucky
ahead.
today on the aiming. There we go. Darn it. I wanted to kill that guy. Okay. So, you notice there, I'm going to use recon in a zone that I know that a lot of the enemies are not at. The reason being, I'm hoping it will actually spot... Darn it, I missed that chance.
Inspire Reserve is ready.
Oh, there we go. Oh, I am spotted. Yep, they actually got... So, okay, there's something I should have paid attention to. I just recon, which means they're going to have recon, which is exactly what they did. They reconned me to spot me. And now I gotta... Yeah, see, and here's again. Map awareness is really important in this mode. So, I didn't really pay attention that the Hawk that used to be there with me actually left. I don't know where he went. Looking at it, he's gone. He's dead. So he actually went and died somewhere. Not very smart on the Hawk. Now here's the Scorpion G. He's going to die. Well, actually, I'm sorry. He is dead. I shouldn't say going to die. He actually did die. And here we go. I'd like to get here. Here's the track. Yeah, I just can't seem to get it through. Man, rough. Very rough. Kind of hoping to win. Alright, so here we go. Now, use Inspire. And look, immediately you can see now I'm down to 16 seconds on my reload. So I went from like 18 to 16. And that's just for the reload. Now mind you, I still have Inspire going. It's going to keep going. I'm going to be more accurate. I can aim faster, all that kind of stuff. So it makes you very combat efficient. At the same time, it's going to give me this. So I can actually help this guy. Nope. One more. There we go. Boom! And ignited him. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Because now, my little scout guy, I got to get in this circle. Be like, yo, fellas, repair me. Yeah, repairs me. I got you all. Ooh, good thing the artillery strike came later, huh? Alright, so now, I'm still trying to inspire. But the Inspire is only like 5 seconds left. The other part that's kind of nice, though, is that suppression, for example. The Inspire does actually help counter it pretty well. It's not going to be a full, because I think when you're suppressed, you're at 50% efficiency loss. So just by having the Inspire, you're at 50% gain. Right? So that means it partially counters. It's not going to be all the way. So I know that those guys are right there. He's trying to proxy. So that dude right there is just proxy. It's kind of hoping the light out there. So again, map awareness, right? I'm hoping that the light out here in this on the far right corner is actually going to spot. Saying, oh, he missed your AMX. It's going to get destroyed.
Air Scout is ready.
So here we go. Oh, actually, they are about to spot. There we go. See, and again, I was about to use mine and then realized, hey, I don't have to. Because homeboy's actually in a spot for me. Oh! And then I got spotted. Oh. I'd like to know how I got spotted. And that feet right there. Ah, cheeky bugger. So, here I am. I know I'm going to go ahead and reload because there's no point in me just sitting there idle in 2 rounds. And right now, I got to continue moving around simply because they'll be trying to drop stuff on me, right? Whether it be artillery, from their skill thingies or the real thingies, all sorts of stuff. Here we go. Yeah. And one more for the good count. Goodbye. Alright, so you'll see damage does get you points, right? The sad bit is it doesn't get you extra rank points. Now, the rank points, though, they come more from, like, the smoke, defending, taking objectives. So, like, if I were to get on the objective, I would start pulling in a lot of points.
Zone E contested.
Alright, so here's what I got. I want to know what's all out there. So here we go. So 3, 2, 1, let's see. Anything out there? Oh, yep, there he goes. See? Cheeky. Ah, you dirty little EBR, you. Take my shots if you like it. Alright, now there's another dude, Primo Victoria, coming. And he knows to stop there? Really? You know to stop there. Why? Why? Who knows?
Inspire reserve is ready.
Oh, now he's not stopping. Now he's going. Yeah. And I missed. Yeah. And I missed again. And one more for the luck. Okay, there we go. Finally got something. Alright.
Our reinforcements have arrived.
So again, always check. So 10v10. That's okay. It's not horrible. Here's what is bad, though. So again, map awareness, right? We have that object there. He might spot. He might not, right? So it's good to come over here and check. Just to make sure. Alright, so no one's there. That's good. Did Lorraine actually make
Zone
it?
E has been
He
captured.
did.
Extra time has been added.
He did, and I had to die for it. Which that guy sucks. Not gonna get it. And the allies smoked all the way over there. That's not very useful at all. Ah, now that's better though. Now here's the question. Can I do the same strat that Mr. Lorraine did without hopefully dying? Yeah! I did. Ha ha! Uh-oh. Yeah, see? There you go, fellas. You see how hard it is to hurt this stupid thing? Uh-oh. Oh, yep, got spotted. Get that. Ah ha ha! There you go, fellas. See? And like I said, so capture, right? Lots of points for capture. Now, I'm going to inspire and try to get in here and help my teammates, right? Oh, jeez. Bad choice of mine. Really? You're annoying. That's the last shot you get on me, buddy. Oh, maybe. Oh, wrong buttons. Wrong buttons. Why am I not reloading? Oh, because I don't have enough shells. There we go. I forgot I was still using all that APCR. So again, that works for me because I actually want to show how good it can be just by having all of this. Right? And then how it's like, yeah, it's nice, but you don't really need it. So again, I recommend, like, for those points, so you see there, we got a guy who's shooting our own teammate, but that means absolutely nothing. You can't damage your own teammates. All it does is really just irk them, maybe. And in most cases, they just play even dumber than they're already playing, which does no good. Now, here's what I do know. My entire team is going to be kind of rushing up here. And the enemy is going to be here. And I see that there's a scout already going, right? And somehow, it's 3 to 8. What? That doesn't make any sense. So, what I did is I put a scout, so that way we should see what we're about to run into. So you'll see I spotted their artillery. I spotted the projectiles that are lined up. I spotted their Su-130 blah Mr. Big Cannon of Doom. Right? So all of those, now we know. Now, is my team going to get shots? Apparently not. They're not really paying attention. That happens to the best of us. Hey, someone did get shots. Check it out. Now, could I have waited a little bit? Yeah. I wanted to make sure that we knew what was over here. So now we do. So I accomplished my mission. Now, Mr. Progetto there and me, we should be able to go like this. Man, that should have killed him too. Oh well. Someone got it. Aha. I'm kidding, 40T. You can't have me. I'll bait you though, if I can. Oh. No, come on. Really? Kidding me, game. I'm surprised I can't see that. Alright. Now, team-focused game, right? So, let's see what we can't do. So there's that guy.
Our reinforcements have arrived.
So what I'm hoping to do is get over here, but I'm hoping not to get spotted. Because you got to bear in mind, like, they can always do recon, guys. So, and gals. Sorry. I say guys simply because I'm too old school when it comes to gaming. And I forget we're now all genders, right? But, again, if you want rank points, the biggest amount of points is from taking the objective. So it's very important to make sure that you get on the objective to put points on the board. Now again, you're going to get it, I think, for every second you're on it, or a certain amount of time that you're on it, but you also get a good chunk just from the take. Right? So there's 10, right? So I got 10 there, and then bam.
We have captured zone
So now I'm a captain.
Support incoming. You have been promoted.
Now again, I'm on offense, so it's not like I'm, in like some super mode or anything like that. You'll notice I didn't put a lot of points or damage into people. I didn't even put a lot of points into that capture. So you can definitely still pull in a lot of good amount of points.
We have destroyed objective 1.
Just by getting there to take the objective. So it is important. So bear that in mind. Here. Okay, spotted you. Cool. I'm not firing because I don't want to get spotted myself. So I'm trying to spot, and you'll notice I'm sticking to the ridge. So like that's the ridge of the view range. So I should be able to see. What's sad though is no one's doing damage. The goal that, well, actually maybe I'm not being spotted. But there, someone actually did use. So now, what I do know is they didn't spot me normally. They spotted me through recon, recon, which is about what I'm gonna do to them, right? So here we go. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it over there, right? So bear in mind, the range of this thing is going to be like over here and over there. So all those dudes that were up there spotting, I'm now going to spot, right? And he's the one I'm actually looking for. I want that Scorpion, but he's not coming out right.
Inspire reserve is ready.
All right. Oof. Hey, but I'm not the one. Oh, yeah, I'm not the one getting it. That sucks. So you see here, like, I just resupplied, and there's a minute left. Alright, so that kind of tells you just how much the engineering can make a difference. Alright, if there's only a minute left, and I probably only walked away for a minute, right? So it takes 2 minutes to resupply again. Alright, it's like, wow, okay, well I already did it, now I can do it again. Awesome. So here I'm hoping they're going to spot again. Maybe this time I can get some shots over onto that T-28.
Objective 4 reached.
Ugh, really? That's all I got, huh? Well, patience is a virtue. And I'm spotted. Oh, EVR?
Zone A contested.
Yep. Ah, any ammo rack. Really? Now, here's another reason why it's really good to have that. So, you see, I got ammo racked, not the best condition. I could have actually waited, which is probably what I should have done. But again, it's already up. Alright, so I took some damage, not a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and reload. Now, what I will say is, it looks like their defense. So this is kind of the thing to pay attention to again. So, which is just the story. So, just the story is, hey guys, pay attention to what's going on. So, my team just took that. I saw a big grouping. I should have been supporting them, especially because I have Inspire, but I didn't. That was my fault because I wasn't paying attention to the map in that sense. I was so focused on trying to get that T-28. Because that damn T-28 is the one thing that's keeping us from actually knocking this out really quick. So, and we're running out of time. Damn, we're running out of time, guys. We didn't take anything on the other side, which is why we're losing. So, map awareness part 2, right? It's not just the map you're in. Shots on that, but I can't. Alright. Really? So they gotta be flinging high explosives at me like all the freaking time for some reason. Which sucks. Alright. Yeah, we're about to lose. Nothing I can do. But this, you'll see, just by doing this, I got captain. Hey, good. We actually got the extra time. Good.
Our reinforcements have arrived. Objective 2 reached.
So here, I'm probably going to die because I see that there's a scout coming right at me. But I honestly don't care. We need to try to take the objective. And I did some good damage to it. And I'm drawing their attention and spotting, so no biggie. I also wanted to kind of show like the fact that I could swap tanks. So here's, oh, okay, we're actually locked there. So what I could do is I can spawn here and try to help them take. And I did mention my Progetto's got engineer and it's fast and it's good damage output. And you'll see there that they got a scout and a medium that are kind of just bullying right here. So they're trying to keep us locked down. And I see that they're probably going to come for the artillery too. I don't know if, yeah, we're probably not going to take. That's too bad. So this is actually probably one of the quickest matches I've had, which is good because it helps with this video demonstration, right? So here you'll see now.
Well done.
Oh, we actually got them all. Yay. Go team. We actually did it. So there you go. There's a victory. Now, the part that people are mentioning right now is victory does not really do you so much because there isn't really any essential points that are being drawn to it, and you actually gain so much more just from getting the ranks. So a lot of people are solely focused on their own performance. That's not quite true, right? Victory is achieved by doing the objectives that you're supposed to do on that match. So that in turn means not only if you're performing, but you want to actually start putting towards points towards that so that you gain higher ranks. And the ranks is what actually is going to bring in extra money. So in this case, I actually lost altogether. And it's actually probably because I came in with this one. Oh, actually, no, it says I gained on him. That's funny. Yeah. Auto resupply ammunition is what cost me the most. The consumable didn't. Actually, that's weird. It's saying my earned for battle didn't come out right either. What? Hold on. Yeah, considering... Huh. Oh, maybe they took out rank bonus? They used to... Oh, I don't know. Huh. Well, that didn't work out. I've actually gone through plenty and still pulled in money, so I'm not sure what happened on that one. What I would say is, test it out, because I noticed like a lot of this stuff is not showing right. It's saying like, hey, on my team I was 28th, which I'm not. It's out of 30, so I'm here. I don't know how they're ranking it, I rank by experience earned, so I'm not sure what they're saying. Maybe they're saying damaged. Maybe I'm 28th on damage. No, it's not that either. So I don't know. I don't know how. Oh, maybe it's ranks. No, on a rank I was even higher. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it says that. But anyway, I am hoping this helps, right? And bear in mind, even though I said, hey, I lost like what 60,000, right? I still made like 60,000 just from gaining my rank. So it still evens out. I just wouldn't have made a lot of. Didn't make a lot of cash on that one. So again, I hope that kind of helps and gives you the gist of what you're trying to go for. Like I said, it's map awareness and then making sure to go for the objective. So when you're on defense and you see people are on the objective, it's really important that you do the damage to the targets that are on there and block them as much as possible. Engineering helps with that, so that way you can pull in a lot more points. And then the part I could not show was smokescreen, like a good use of it. But like I said, you have the two models. One smoke screen is to actually guard the objective when you're on the offense, so that way your team is covered and hidden, much like you saw in the match where my team was doing that for me, and that helped us take it really quick. Then the other side, though, is if you're on defense and the enemy has taken an objective, you know that they're coming, just like you saw how I knew we were going to be attacking. So I went ahead and used a recon to see everything. They could have had a smoke screen already lined up so that all of their guys would have been covered and I could not spot them using recon. Then they could have shot at our guys doing damage, and anyone who did damage would have then, in turn, brought in more points towards your rank. Right? So it gives you those frontline points or whatever. So I hope this stuff is useful. Again, please, if this stuff is interesting, if you like what I'm doing, if you like the information that I'm giving or how I'm giving it, please like, subscribe. I have all sorts of videos. I'm looking for whatever support I can get for my channel. If you have other people that would be interested in watching, please let them know. Tell them about King's Court. I do know it's kind of a pain trying to look up my stuff simply because I have to have 1,000 subscribers before I can make my own unique YouTube URL, so it's easier to find it and even make it searchable. So right now it kind of sucks that way. But again, I'm looking for any support that you guys would like to give. And then if there's stuff that you're like, man, you know what, I'd really like to see something like this, just feel free, let me know. Put it in comments. I do read the comments and I do respond relatively quickly. So again, I appreciate you for watching, and if you made it this far, thank you so much, and I hope this really does help you in your front lines. And I will catch you next time.